time, and I wanna spend some time with you. Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's cracking? It's another day, another day, another day. Hey, hey.
So you wasn't gonna tell me we was gonna start recording? You just gonna record?
Why I need to tell you? You gonna get in where you fit in. You know how this goes. This ain't no TV show. We ain't scripted like action. It's action all the time.
You normally say, I'm getting ready to do a video.
No, I don't, because you just said that. That's how I always do this.
You just all the way to the left today.
I'm not left on
You better
nothing.
get it together.
I got it together. You need to keep up.
This is the
Yeah.
off the backs of the gin. If y'all wondering.
Off the backs of the who?
The gin. From Sip Some Friday.
Maybe from you,
Yeah.
but not from me. Yeah. Y'all go check out that video for Sip Something Friday last night. It was our first one of the year.
Was that multi-rose?
No. Loyal Saint Rosa. That's what it was called. Bro. You say multi-rose. That gin got you. I don't know where you got multi from. Multi wasn't in nothing.
What was the name of the gin?
Malfi.
That's what it is. That's what I'm getting it.
Yeah, y'all go check that video out. But we on our way to the gym. About to get it in. At least try to. Man, I just been congested because of our cooties over here. This heat is kicking. Yeah, I said it. She over here typing paragraphs.
I was talking to my son.
Who?
He was talking to me about his move and life, and so I was replying back to him.
He had to move far?
Oh, they moved in the same.
I mean, like far from where they was at. Like
no,
they could
but
just carry it over like couple apartments down.
I don't think so. I know it was bigger, but I know it was in the same complex, but I'm not for sure. But he said that they started moving at 5 in the morning. Between moving and shopping, they didn't get finished until 9 o'clock at night, and he had to be at work. So he was just saying that he never didn't get back to me because he was exhausted. So
They start moving at 5 in the morning.
probably when he got off.
You don't get off at 5. You get off at like, unless the schedule changed, I thought it was like 6 or 7.
Maybe he was doing it to get it over with. I don't know. So I was just, that's why I said I didn't know you was gonna start that video.
What you do? Keep typing.
That's rude.
No, it's not. Because I'm going to keep doing what I do. One monkey don't stop no show. That's what they say,
Don't
right?
be a smart ass, okay?
So, that's what your daddy say. No comment.
We're not talking about my daddy,
Yeah, whatever.
okay? Not bringing up my daddy. See, y'all, look, this is what happened when you refuse to listen.
No, I just gotta get it about. It's like there, but it's not. It won't let me get it all the way about.
I told him what to take to help him loosen it up so it's not so hard to get it up. But he don't want to listen. He want to do his own thing all the time. So now you're paying the price of that.
Good.
Trying to blame that bull on me.
It is on you. It's the reason why it's all going around. What you mean?
I'm not right. The reason why the world got the flu. So we're not gonna do that.
You the reason why the MostyleFam is taking precautions. You're right. You're not the reason why the world got the flu.
What was it?
That's because they put
What was
it
you
in the
getting over
air.
to talk about?
Nothing really.
Yeah.
Nothing really. Nothing too major.
Yeah.
Nothing tragic. Nothing. Not at all. Why you look like
So you're
that?
just gonna start the video about nothing.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta start about nothing and turn it into something. You know what I'm talking about? See how that goes? See, we didn't already turn this into something.
No, you turned it into something. This is not necessarily good for the people.
This is how it works. Yes, it is. This is a day in the life.
Yeah, it is. That's very true. Talk about you closing that door in my face as we was walking out the apartment complex.
I didn't close no
Not
door.
being a gentleman.
Okay.
You knew I was behind you. You just.
First off, if you're not right behind me, I am not obligated to hold the door open for you. If you right behind me coming, but if you like 50 feet back, I'm not obligated to wait for you to catch up and hold the door open. And you are one of them with the new modern women.
First of all, don't do that shit
Like-
because you was always opening the doors for me and always.
I still do open the doors for you, but I'm not gonna wait 50 feet. That's when you right next to me. I open the door for you. But if you way back yonder, I'm not gonna stand. You was way back yonder. I'm not gonna hold the door. I'm in motion. You got to keep up. I'm in step. You out of step. So you know what I'm saying? You want the door open? Ain't nothing wrong with that. I open the door when you right there. But if you're not right there, then what am I supposed to do?
You know what? I'm kind of glad you started recording because the people need to see. People be thinking
Nah, they need to
that
see the
I'm
real-
the handful. People always be thinking it's me.
You a handful.
And you're the one that's full of hits.
I'm not full of nothing. But full of
And I say
full of
nothing.
life and love.
See,
That's all
normally
it.
I'm
That's
quiet.
the only
I'm
thing.
just like,
Everybody knows she's not quiet, so we're not even gonna play that one.
when we out and about, yes, I'm very connected. Unlike you.
Even when you're not quiet.
No, when we out and about, I am. I'm not quiet.
Everybody knows you're not a quiet person. Period.
As we've gotten older, I've gotten
Everybody
very
be quiet at
introverted.
home. Sometimes at home. Of course, you're supposed to be quiet at home. You ain't gotta talk all the time at home. Sometimes your mind, you just focus. You're in your thoughts.
And it'd be hard when you always got something to say.
I don't got nothing to say. I got something to say if you give me something to say.
You don't.
Yeah, that's what that is.
Now I gotta cuss.
You,
Man, I gotta cuss.
if you don't give me nothing to say, then hey, I ain't got nothing. And it just depends on what you give me to say. It could be something good. It could be something negative. Well, not even bad, but to you it may be negative. But that's with any women. If it ain't sugar and spice and nice, it's oh my god. No comment. Married life, y'all. This is what it is. The ins and outs, the ups and downs, the smiles and frowns. This is it right here. The things men got to deal with.
Y'all excuse me. He's making I can feel my blood pressure like going up. Like
Yo,
sometimes
the truth will make your blood pressure go up. I understand that.
Sometimes you say things to provoke me
I
to
don't say-
get popped off because you know I'm in a space where I'm not
Because
trying to be
what?
popped off, and you say shit to provoke me to
I'm
pop
not
off.
provoking you. If telling you the truth is provoking you, that sounds like a personal problem.
You are the personal problem.
And that's what you say. Like I said, if the truth is provoking you, then that sounds like something you need to deal with. We need to get you some help with that.
You're right, man.
You wanna go see that therapist?
I am.
Okay. See that work.
You ain't put me out there. Shit, all y'all need some
put
fucking
you out?
therapy.
I didn't talk-
Your ass needs some goddamn.
I have, and that's why they got me the way I am. You right. So
I'm not talking about that bullshit you watch on YouTube. That is not therapy. Like, get your life together.
Kevin Samuels.
He is not therapy.
Anton
he
Daniels.
is the problem to why you popping off.
No. Kevin Samuels and Anton Daniels is therapy.
Yeah.
It's therapy. She fronting right now, but she be agreeing with a lot of stuff they be saying.
Sometimes, yeah, you're right.
Sometimes. It'd be a lot
Not all
that you
the time.
agree with. It'd be a lot.
A lot of time I be like.
Even it's a lot of stuff that I don't agree with, but no, well, not a lot of stuff. It'd be some things that I don't agree with, but there's a lot of stuff that I do agree with. And I'd be like, you know what? You're right.
I'm different from a lot of women because I've been more so in circles with a lot more men than I have with women. I don't really click with women. I don't like all of the foolishness that come with women. And so I'm normally in a space where I'm around dudes. Like in a barbershop, I'm with the dudes. I'm talking to the dudes. We popping shit. Like I'm not uncomfortable in spaces like that. So when there's a conversation being had with Kevin Samuels or
I guess how can I say this?
When you're like Kevin Samuels and Anton, those conversations make more sense to me because I've been in a space where I've talked to a lot of men and it makes sense. But if a woman been in a space where she ain't been open to having conversations with men and seeing things in a space where they're talking and they're decompressing, then you're more likely to feel the conflict of it, like, oh, I'm offended, as opposed to being comfortable in it. I'm not uncomfortable in those spaces. You know that. Like, I can sit in a room with a gang of dudes and that shit don't bother me. Until you say something disrespectful to me. But I'm a person, I'm gonna meet you right where you at. If you disrespect me, man, woman, I'm gonna meet you right at the space that you at. You know that.
Yeah.
You normally don't got to pop for me. I pops on my own. And then you be like, oh Lord, let me go get her ass. You know I'm that person. But that's why those things, Kevin Samuel, I can understand some of that stuff. And I've had deep conversations. I don't come from a broken, I ain't got no daddy drama. My daddy's a cool ass cat, always the coolest brother in the room, always on some straight talk shit, like he ain't never on no bullshit, and he always had straight shopping. So, and I have a great relationship with my parents. I done come from a broken home. I have a loving father, a great mother. Both of them did the best that they could to raise us and take care of. So I'm not lacking in that kind of shit. Like, so I don't got no daddy issues.
No, you don't have no daddy issues, but you do have some.
I have some issues with my mother.
Yes, you have some mama issues. So
yeah, I definitely got mother issues. But that's nurturing. That's different.
it's still issues though.
Yeah.
I think anybody in a relationship,
I think it's
if
more
they
of a
had
disconnect between
some
me
of
and my
it,
mother, less than
a lot of that be still nurturing issues. It was like,
yeah.
oh boy, who I started following. Where did I start seeing him on? I think it was IG. It's Problem Child Fitness. This cat up in New York. By my side, well, he bigger than me, but my height and everything, I'm trying to get
His stature, his build.
yeah. How he's built, athletic, older guy, whatever. Is he a little bit older? But the other day he posted something. You know, he showed these messages like, man, something's wrong with your mom. She going crazy, having a meltdown or whatever, blah, blah, blah,
His
blah.
mother was having a meltdown?
Yeah. And everybody was trying to send him messages like, hey, something wrong with your mom. You need to check on your mom. But man, he went through this whole story about how his moms treated him as a kid, being abusive, all types of stuff, man. I think I cried halfway through reading it, but at the end, you know, he was like, now
His mother going through stuff.
He gonna still be there for his mama, and I was like, wow. But just listen to the stuff. She used to have guys that she was messing with, hold him down while she tried to beat him and all type of stuff, and he ended up doing he did like 15 years locked up. But just all this stuff as a kid and his trauma that he had to deal with, and now his everybody, you know, telling him his mom's check on his moms or whatever. But I think in the thing, she had him when she was like only 14 or 15.
So she was a kid.
She was a kid, but I was like, damn, start reading. It was like all the shit that she was saying that she did to him as a kid and growing up and the trauma. I was like, shit.
I believe, you know, me and our youngest yesterday, I picked her up from soccer. And I've been reading, I have heard this study during the week, you guys, about that it's always good to have conversations with your teenagers when you catch them off guard. Because if you come in their room and have a conversation, it always seems like you're the aggressor to them. And they were saying that the best way to have conversations with your teen is in the car. And I've actually found out that me and her, we talk really well, and she's very open and honest when I talk to her in the car, because I'm not looking at her, I'm driving, I'm focused on the street, so I'm not being an aggressor.
I can't believe that you always.
I'm not. I'm a hard talker. I'm a heavy talker, so it comes across as being aggressive, and she's very tender, so that approach can be weird for kids that are like that. So I was just talking to her, and we pulled up in our garage at the apartments, and we was having a conversation about loneliness and the world, and what loneliness and sadness and depression can show up as. And I was just telling her like that some of the untapped or unhealed trauma can manifest itself in many different ways. Sometimes we're triggered by things in our late age from things from when we were kids. And I was just talking to her about the type of life that me and her dad grew up in, and why we parent the way we do, that our kids don't understand us because they've never seen or understand our experience from growing up in the hood, things we saw, things we experienced, what we had to go through. They didn't have a life that's similar to that, and they also have not grew up in the space, in the town that we grew up in order to see, visually really see or experience what we've gone through.
Sometimes I wish I need to take them back.
So they can understand why we are the way we are. But I was just telling her, like, untapped, unhealed trauma. And I was saying to her, like, some of these shootings, the older guy, the Asian guy, a lot of people were saying that he said he was lonely and he felt like people didn't understand him. And I was just like, literally, human beings are not meant to be alone. And sometimes our traumas are triggered by things that happen to us in our childhood, and they manifest themselves as we are adults in different ways. And I was talking to her, we was just talking about what sadness and loneliness and what it can look like, and my experience and thing. I'm very open about my depression and things that I've gone through with my kids, because I think that your kids understand you better when they understand this. You're not speaking from a place that you don't understand. And a lady in the garage came up and she was asking for us to let her in the building, but I got out to let her out in the building, and she's like, what were you guys talking about, if I can ask? And so I just told her what I was talking about with my daughter. She was just like, wow, that's a big conversation. She was just like, loneliness. And I was saying, like, loneliness is real. It's a real thing. And I said, we as a world, we need to understand, for 3 years almost, a lot of people were on lockdown. Those untapped traumas of childhood, of being alone, our childhood issues, or all those things, they come up in silence. When you're in solitude, I say, my dad used to tell us all the time that an idle mind is devil's play, and sometimes your mind will get the best of you when you're alone too long. And I was telling her, I was like, human beings were not meant to be alone. We're not meant to literally not be around each other's energies. We help each other through things. And literally, the lady just starts crying. Now, the person in me, I have two people that sometimes will click in to me. There's a person that's like, girl, I don't give a fuck about what you're going through. Some days, because I got my own shit, I don't be caring about what you got going on. You see the caddy? The STS? So, sometimes, I be like that in my own shit. But I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Something spoke to me and said, this lady needs something bigger than that. I don't know. It was just something about her. I can't.
She always run across people, just be random stuff. Every time you and Nyla go out somewhere, especially to Target or something, I think it's something about our energy. I think it's because we have an empathetic, or what people call empaths, empathetic people. That are, well, I guess you can say that, but I call it, God sends certain people, because I find myself, I have it sometimes. I'll be like, I be seeing people and something be like God be like, hey, you need to go tell them everything's gonna be okay. And I think I did it maybe one time. I was like, I don't know what's going on, but everything gonna be all right. But I be having that feeling, but I'm like, I'm not gonna. But you grew up moving differently in the streets, so your reservedness is because you like, I done been through some shit, and motherfucker, you can't be cool to everybody. Like that I think men are more standoffish and less open because of their upbringings. Yeah. But for me, I almost feel like there's an energy about me that draws these type of people in. Yeah, every time y'all go out, y'all always come back with a story. It's either gonna be good or bad. It's just weird. Y'all, she started crying. And I don't know, it was just like something in my spirit spoke to me and said, be in this moment. Y'all, I was just honest and open with her, and I was just like, something in my heart is telling me to tell you that you are loved, God sees you, and that everything's gonna be okay. And sometimes we're in moments of aloneness because God is getting ready to move you in a space, and he needs you to be mentally prepared for it, and you got to be in this space and close this chapter in order to be ready for the next. So don't take this as being alone. And I told her, you're not alone. We see you. Like, I don't know
where the words came from, and some of the talking to her, she's a lady who just went through depression, and she'd been married for a very long time. Her kids are off in college, and she just finalized her divorce. In there, they've had friendships together, but no friendships separately. And when she left, all her friends left with him. So nobody's reaching out to her. And they are mad at her because she left the relationship instead of him leaving the relationship. And she was like, I've been trying to talk to him. I tried to do therapy. He didn't want to do therapy. He didn't want to do anything to try to get their relationship on a better gain. And I was just feeling like the older we was getting, the more we was living life separate. And so she made the choice. And she lost everybody. In the meantime, we're in COVID. And so her relationships with her family got distant. Not being able to see people got distant. You get those relationships less and less. And she says that she feels sadness. And I told her, I was just like, you don't need to be alone. You need to be around people. Find a circle. Go to a group. Find something fun to do. Like, even if it's alone, you connect and meet with people. Because I don't think that God intended for us to be by ourselves. And she was like, wow. It's like even Eve was made out of the rib of Adam for him to have companionship.
Was it companionship or just I guess you can call it.
It was.
Or he needed a helpmeet to help him to get the works done that the Lord needed him to do. That
became his person.
Yeah.
They moved through the world together until other changes. And I don't think that was a mistake. I think God intended for that. She was made of him. So that means what it means. And so I think when you talk about like how he done went through his trauma with his mother, and he's still able to be like, I'm gonna be here for her. Because at the end of the day, he like, I only get one mama. She my mama whether I like it. Whatever mother I got, she's still my goddamn mama.
Yeah, but you know what? We don't do that. It's a double standard.
What you mean?
Because it's never that way with fathers and men.
That's not true.
No, it's not.
That's not true. Let me tell you why. Because I've been watching Angie Martinez.
Well, maybe because I never see it, but you always hear, the stories and shit like, yeah, your father beat you, did all of this. If you don't end up killing your father by the time a certain time. But your mother could do the same thing, beat you, do all types of stuff to you. You, your little brother or whatever. Or you say you the big brother and little brother, and you protecting the little brother. Like, what's that movie we just watched where father was end up call himself making him tough. I can't think what was that. And he was end up beating on him, but the bigger brother end up killing the father and taking the rap for the
yeah and
going to jail.
I can't remember the name of the movie, but I remember we just watched it.
But it's a double standard because
I can agree, but I also have seen a lot of women. Like, I've been watching Angie Martinez podcast. Have you watched it?
No.
Okay, so Angie Martinez has a podcast, and she's been having a lot of different people on there. So a lot of
she's been having it for a while, I think, ain't she?
Or maybe toward the end of last year. She had the show.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is a podcast. But she had Kelly Rowland's on there. So Kelly Rowland's daddy was MIA her entire life, and so she's been really public here lately about how a friend of hers found her daddy or whatever. So Angie Martinez began to tell
her friend looking for her daddy,
because she said that when she had Kelly said when she had her kids, this desire to know him, like what her kids, like she felt like her kids was missing a piece of themselves. So she mentioned it to the friend, so the friend was like secretly trying to help her find him, and she found him. And she was like, if you want to pursue him, this is where he's at. So Angie Martinez saw Kelly Rowland being outward about her parent. But her whole life, Angie Martinez's mother been telling her, like, her dad was a heroin addict. He was bad on drugs. People that are around the family been telling her that nigga, he was dead. Her whole life, she thought he was dead from drugs. Randomly, a friend of hers was like, are you sure he dead? She like, let's look for him and see what we can find.
He dead to us. That's not people.
No, people said he was dead, like from drugs, like that people had found. Come to find out, this man living a whole life in Chicago, got a wife, a whole family, So this friend of hers sent her the information and said, reach out to him. What? Right
Who?
when she sent it. Angie Martinez.
This was her?
This her father. So she ain't never had no experience. Like all the experience she's ever heard has been off the backs of her mother. So that whole side of her family, she don't know nothing about.
Well, we know how.
Because he basically died with her.
Well, yeah, we know how that goes.
Right. So after Angie Martinez was like, I'm gonna go find him, then she had a bad car accident and she forgot all about it. Well, then when she healed, she ended up having to go to Chicago for something, and he happened to be in Chicago. So she went to Chicago. She reached out to him, and he has never told his new wife that he even had no kids.
I mean,
she don't know nothing about.
I could get it if you ain't never. You knew you had a kid, but you ain't never been in that kid's life, and your mind's like,
you still got a kid.
No, you be like, if I ain't never seen this kid, or maybe I seen the kid, but it's been, say the kid was born, and that was the last time I seen the kid, and I ain't never know nothing about it. Eventually in your mind, you be like, I don't have another kid.
Okay, when you say that, this is what I'm receiving. This is why I say that there's a difference between a mother and a father. A woman, I've seen women in addiction. Like literally, there was a lady who was off her ass on coke in our neighborhood. In her fucked up state, she be walking the street talking about her kids. She's never raised them. She's never done nothing with them. They been with the dad because she been addicted for a long ass time. She still talk about her kids. I also know a dude that she was around all the time that his kids was in the same hood. He never talks about his kids, and he had like 6 or 7. And he was like, them ain't my fucking kids. But they all your kids. They all look just like you. And I think that the difference is the disconnect of emotion. That child is grows inside of you. He's a part of you.
Well, yeah, that's different if you live in the hood and and you know, a nigga, I'm gonna say this, a nigga knows if he been knocking somebody down.
Dude, all your kids is just like a walking image of you.
Yeah.
You ought to be a fucking shame of yourself.
That's a whole nother thing. But say you have a kid with a woman, y'all separate, break up, whatever, and the kid was just like either before the kid was born, y'all had issues or whatever and separated, or after, and then the mother get to a certain way, like, I don't want to see you, I don't want you around the kid, and anytime you try to come around see the kid, it's always drama and some shit that'll get you in trouble or whatever. Eventually you just like, you know what, I'm just gonna move on. Well,
Angie said that both of her parents was in addiction at the same time. When she was born, her mother went to a place to get better. He stayed in addiction. She was like, I can't be with you in my recovery, and you're in addiction.
Well, yeah,
it won't work.
I get that. It wasn't his time to get out of
and
his...
he was still gone. So she basically was like, I don't want Angie around there.
But I get it. But the problem is where you never tell the kid the truth. She told him the truth, but everybody was saying that the man was dead. That's not the truth. If all this time your mama been telling you he was dead.
No, because nobody knew where he was at, and everybody said the last time they saw him that he was messed up pretty bad.
Yeah, that don't mean you dead just because you
if a whole bunch of people come to you, you ain't never seen the man, you don't know what happened to the man, and you assume
that means he disappeared.
Everybody saying he's dead.
That don't mean you just dead just because you ain't seen me or nothing like that. That's just like saying right now.
Is it my responsibility to go fucking find you?
No.
Okay.
That's not my point. Don't mean I'm dead. You just can't say I'm dead.
If people said he's dead.
But people can't do that. That's wrong. You just can't say a person, well, he was fucked up the last time I seen him. Oh, he dead. What type of shit is that?
I don't know how the conversation went, but
that's what I'm saying.
If somebody comes to me and be like, hey, so and so is dead, I have no other. What recourse do I have to not believe or believe that person?
Yeah, but you still gotta be like, did you see the body? How you know he dead?
They're fucked up on drugs too. So
yeah, and I would think after you got clean, you would go be like, you know what? Let me really find out if this person is dead. You would do, especially if you got a child with this person, you really gonna want to know, is this person actually dead, been put into a morgue and all of this? You gonna really want to find that out. Now, if it's just a random person, yeah, whatever. Okay, I heard he was dead. That don't mean I don't mean he's actually dead just because somebody said he's dead. I need actual
That's also not her
in the paper,
responsibility to go find out where the fuck he at and if he's.
It is.
But why is it?
Because you just sitting here saying that.
But if do you feel like if that was a reverse situation, you gonna go look for me?
Yeah. If somebody just said we separated and you just, oh, I heard she died.
Maybe it wasn't like a relationship. Maybe it was a.
If we had a kid and we separated, whether it was years later and whether I was fucked up or whatever, and it got back to me that you died and we had a child together, I'm like, man, I'm cleaned up now. I'm like, man, let me find out if this shit is really, because if I keep hearing it, I'm actually gonna look into it. Because it's still, we got a kid together, so what happened to the kid? I'm gonna look. I'm just not gonna be like, okay, what, motherfucker dead. Oh, she dead. Oh, well, keep it pushing.
Okay, but when he got clean, he got a responsibility too. Why you ain't look for your daughter? Why you ain't tried to pursue her? And then when she does call him, when she gets to Chicago, she calls him. He's angry and pissed at her because she reached out to him. And he's being hurtful in his words. And he's like, my fucking family don't even know shit about you. And he's being ugly to her. Now, I've seeked you out and found you because I feel like a piece of me is missing. As a kid, I'm still your child. Even if I'm a whole adult. You didn't do your part as a father. And then you gonna be mad at me? I'm shaking up your life. I'm calling you. I'm not calling your wife. I'm not showing up at your house.
Well, that's his fault because
because you being a fucking dumbass.
It's on both sides, regardless of whatever. It's just not on his side. Because evidently there was some reason why he felt like, you know what, he's not going back to that life. It is what it is. Move on. Maybe she moved on. Maybe she got another daddy.
That's your assumption.
No, but you always think like maybe a wife got cleaned up. Maybe he could have came in one time, seen the wife cleaned up with somebody else taking care of her, and be like, "Oh, you got no daddy. Well, ain't no need for me to come back around." I can't understand that because I do not care. Look, this is my whole thing. You know our relationship. You know we both came to the table with kids. Regardless, I don't give a good goddamn if this nigga seen you out being daddy to my son. Nigga, you still his daddy. You don't be like, "Hey, I'm good," because that nigga doing it. I'm sure that's probably what he thinking, you know, but that's some bitch ass bull to me. It's fucked up, but
cause look, what I'm gonna tell you, if I see another woman being a mother to my kid, I'm gonna let you know I'm a mama.
For some, it's like
I don't understand that disconnect.
It's like if you never had a relationship with a kid,
you thinking, oh, he better off because he's happy there, but that's still a piece of. How can you be? Maybe y'all can help me understand it because I don't understand it. I never understand it. I don't understand how you can have a whole being.
You're not gonna never understand it. It is what it is. This is the way the world works.
You have a whole being. You mean to tell me that there's not a moment that you think this is a part of who you are? This person is a part of your legacy. He's a part of your bloodline. You literally just gonna act like he don't exist?
It probably is, but sometimes you just like.
Why does that not bother you?
Because if that person, you feel like, just like a person who give their child away for adoption. You
feeling like I can't
you may feel a certain way, but you feel like that child's life is better off where they're at. Because if you know yourself and you that type of person, you be like, you know what, you were better off with somebody else than being with me. Just like the situation with old dude I was talking about.
With him and his mother.
Yeah, if she would have gave him away and never did all that shit, then he would have never got into all the trouble he got into. What if his life?
She was a part of his demise.
What if his life would have been great? He would have never experienced prison, never been none of that.
She probably would have.
You know, people look at us like, well, I wouldn't be the person I am today, but you don't know what the person you would have been
would have looked like.
Yeah, because you don't know.
But how you know he wouldn't have been a worse off person?
We don't.
Being adopted into a family and they could have been even more fucked up than the one he was in.
We don't know, but you know, like
we always make the assumption. There's always an assumption that if I'm giving you away or I'm disregarding you because it's better.
But you make that assumptions every day in life. You always gotta think, okay, this could be a better outcome. Everything you do is taking a chance or a risk if you think something could be better or not. People do that all the time. They think relationships gonna be better on the other side. Yeah, it'll be better on the other side for maybe 3 to 6 months, because it's always, we say that 6-month rule. After 6 months, either shit gonna work or shit ain't gonna work. But hey, we about to get into this gym, cause you know we gonna get back to y'all. So I'm about to get to work out. Unless you want to keep hearing, sitting talking, you can finish. But I'm about to go get it in because you know I got my juice on me right now. So.
Have you been drinking it?
Yeah, I've been sipping it. So that's why I'm about to go.
His pre-workout done kicked in, and that's why he can't.
Before I feel like I ain't gonna want to work out if I keep sitting here.
Well.
So you gonna finish this out?
What was it? This is our beginning of our Let's Talks. Why did it didn't have to be in the car? We was gonna do it on the couch. Now he wanna do it in the car. We do talk better in the car, don't we?
I always talk in the car.
I know, because in the house you really don't say shit.
I really should start calling it car talk. But it ain't about cars. People be like, car talk. Let me look, what are you talking about cars? But it's about everything.
Chatting it up with us.
But hey, get back with us. We'll be back.
That was a horrible
time, and I want to spend some time with you. Just the two of us.